and welcome to week 11 of the Dad Bod video series. I can't believe we are 11 weeks into this process already, and hopefully we're only a couple more weeks away from our photo shoot. Depends a little bit on Boris, but hopefully in the next 2 weeks we will get our photo shoot done. So, how's progress going? Amazing. We are definitely quite lean right now. As you can see from these progress photos, we're really dialing it in and we're looking great. Ready to step in front of the camera in another couple of weeks. This past weekend I had a refeed day, so a refeed day rather than a cheat day. The main difference being that it was quite controlled rather than having an off-plan meal like a takeaway or something like that. This was a controlled refeed day where we introduced slightly more carbohydrates into our diet. This is something that we will do leading into the shoot as well. It's important to have that carbohydrate in our system to help pump up the muscles to look great in front of the camera. Alongside this, training's been going well and nutrition, as always, has been on plan. Today I want to talk a little bit about what life's been like at home and then maybe some of the sort of hidden challenges or things that don't get talked about when people make a dramatic body transformation such as the one I'm making right now. So let's start with life at home. Obviously we have now a 7-week-old baby girl. She's doing really well, flourishing, as is my wife Hayley is doing really well and recovered post-cesarean section. However, as you can imagine, alongside my transformation, having 2 kids and a wife that's just had a major operation has been quite a lot to deal with as well. There have been plenty of sleepless nights, having to look after the kids and then fit my training in and around that. It's tough, sometimes I feel guilty, sometimes I feel stressed, but it's all worthwhile at the end. Everyone's doing well and we're coping as a family of 4 with 2 kids under 2 years old. So, I want to talk today a little bit about some of the things that people don't necessarily always talk about when they're talking about a dramatic transformation, stepping in front of the camera, those little sort of idiosyncrasies that come alongside that. Hopefully by doing this, it'll make people aware maybe what's going to come if you're going to do a transformation, maybe put people off, or maybe just give you a little bit of a chuckle. So the first thing often not talked about when we're talking about a body transformation is removal of body hair. This is essential, 1 for your tan and 2 for how you look in the photos. I did mine nice and early, got it out of the way, and it's just a case of topping up every 3 or 4 days. But as you can imagine, for a man to remove their body hair consistently is quite frustrating and takes quite a lot of work that people don't necessarily always think about. Point number 2 is obviously I'm drinking quite a lot of liquid. At the moment we are aiming for 5 litres of water a day. That's quite a lot and is essential for health, but also for what we're hoping to do in terms of water loading for the shoot. This means I am urinating quite a lot. This is not talked about very much when people make these transformations, but pretty much every hour I'm getting up, going to the toilet, coming back again. It makes going out quite difficult, especially during lockdown when public facilities are not open that much. So another point to consider, you are going to go to the toilet a lot, do lots of wheeze, but not necessarily much on the other side as well because your food quantity is quite low. So something to worth bearing in mind if you're going to do a body transformation. The next one, and I apologise if my family is watching this, yes, we have a 7-week-old baby girl, but your sex drive is non-existent when you do something like this. All of your energy, all of your focus is on your training, your nutrition, and mentally and hormonally, you have 0 sex drive at all. So if you are a young guy in your 20s, bear in mind a dramatic transformation will eat into this as well. So next up, and this one might sound quite obvious, but not everyone always bears this in mind when they start this process. You will become quite irritable. You can ask my wife about this, but lack of food, training all the time, you're tired, all of those things can lead you to being quite irritable and snappy when you are around your loved ones. So something definitely worth bearing in mind. By this point in the transformation, I am consistently thinking about food, dreaming about food that you want to eat. I am fortunate, my plan is good, I get to eat lots of very nice stuff, but I am being very restrictive on the other side. Watching my family eat all the foods that I love, walking down the high street, smelling amazing food. This is quite a big challenge and it's not often talked about when you do a body transformation. And finally, I have a daily step count of around 15 to 20,000 steps, which is quite high. Sometimes I don't always manage to get this in throughout the day. We're dealing with the kids or business or whatever. So I quite often end up having to do this late at night in the rain because it's winter, wandering the streets just trying to get my step count up. These are all things that need to be done to make sure that I'm ready to step in front of the camera, but aren't always talked about when you see these glorious photos on social media or when you walk in WH Smith and see the magazines on the shelf, okay? All of these things that people put themselves through behind the scenes, going to the toilet all the time, walking in the rain, dreaming about food, being irritable, all of these things happen but don't necessarily always get talked about. So today's workout is a lower body workout, so leg focused workout. We're going to follow that as always with our 30 minutes of HIIT training. I'm finding by this point in the process I'm already quite fatigued and my body is starting to feel the consequences of 11 weeks of training and dieting. I have a tiny injury left over from my dancing career in my right knee and that is starting to play up a little bit. As you can imagine, I hit 15 to 20,000 steps a day, 40 minutes of cycling a day, 5 resistance workouts a week, 2 of which are leg based, and then 5 sessions of HIIT training that are 30 minutes long. It's quite a lot of volume to put your body through, and most of that's been over the past 11 weeks. As you can imagine, my body is starting to feel quite tired, quite fatigued. Fortunately, we're in the final straight, there's only a couple more weeks to go, but it's definitely about immersing my body over the line and making sure that I hit all of those targets and really hit my nutrition to help us get results. So here we go guys, today's lower body workout, let's get started. So that's week 11 in the bank. We've done our training, our nutrition's on point, we're making progress, photo shoots coming up. Next week we're going to talk all about the depletion phase and what that means in terms of diet, training, tan, Epsom salt bath, what's going to happen on shoot day. So make sure you tune in for that, it's going to be really exciting. Subscribe on here, follow us daily on Instagram and make sure you tune in next week. See you then.